Welcome back to another episode of Cappuccino Chat. This time, we're talking about why Microsoft Business Premium is the best subscription level you should be on for your business. All right, so this time we're talking about Microsoft Office subscription levels. And one of the questions I often get asked when comparing and after making my recommendations of why they should be going with Business Premium now is just the differences between the subscription they're on now and what you get with Business Premium. Years ago, I used to recommend just standard. It saved money. It got you the Office suite, Word, Excel, Outlook, all that good stuff installed on your computers, allowed mobile access, all that good stuff was there. But they didn't really roll in a whole lot of security. So we had to layer on other solutions from other partners of ours, which sometimes do a better job, sometimes the same job, so on and so forth. There's still certain things that Microsoft doesn't offer easily to ensure protection. One of them being backing up your Office suite of tools. Now, in the Business Premium, you get a lot of additional security functions. And this is one of the things I really want to bring home with this video is letting you know why you should upgrade to Business Premium. Even though you might seem like that's not a good reason to spend that extra money, because it is about $10 more per user per month over the normal standard license. But the protections it gives you is more than worth it. So let me explain. You get some additional anti-phishing protections, or actually you get the anti-phishing protections that you don't get in standard editions and the lower editions. You get some additional spam protections and rules we can create and things like that. But the big one is something called conditional access. Now, this is where we can enable MFA, which is your multi-factor authentication, which is the code that you give on your cell phone, you get a text, those kinds of things. Plus, they're also really pushing you to use that Microsoft Authenticator app. Now, one of the biggest pushbacks I always get is users being bothered by having to enter that code and or having to set up the Authenticator app on devices so that they can authenticate to their email. So with this conditional access rules, the best feature that it offers is our ability to say anything at your company behind your corporate firewall that we have set up is trusted. In other words, you don't need to prompt for the 2FA MFA code. This means we don't have to set it up for all employees, just employees that need to have access to their corporate email outside of the business. So from home, on mobile devices, checking in from laptops, those types of things. So it greatly reduces the number of users we have to deal with. Now, it also, again, enforces MFA across the entire tenant, the entire domain that you have set up, your email domain, which means as users come on and come off, nobody has to remember, oh, did we set up 2FA? Did they do it right? Is it set up? It's automatically set up. Whether they ever get prompted for it or not, it's being enforced. So again, this means brand new user comes in, they have a weak password for whatever reason, password gets compromised. Maybe they don't have a weak password, but they were phished and convinced to give up their password. Somebody tries logging in from grandma's basement that they shouldn't be there, or a foreign country, or whatever the case might be. They will get prompted for that 2FA code, even though the user at your office was never prompted because they're not at your office. Some of the other things we can do is we can block foreign country logins. So primarily, most businesses only log in from the United States, and we can say anything outside the United States, don't even allow them to log in. So even if the password was compromised in some way, shape, or form, they would try to log in, they would be denied because they're coming in from a foreign country. So it wouldn't even get to that MFA stage. But we can't do that without the conditional access piece, which is added to that premium license. We cannot allow MFA registration. So that initial setup of MFA, again, we can allow that to only happen at your company office. So we had a client who was using the free built-in MFA that you have to manually configure and set up for Office 365. And they were fished and convinced to give away their MFA token. So they said, yes, allow, typed it in, and the threat actor was able to get into their account. What that threat actor immediately did, because they saw that MFA was set up, was set up their own MFA method. So they set up a secondary method by which they can provide that MFA code. So now when they would go to log out and log back in later, they had their cell phone and they could type in the app password and MFA code and get logged right into the user's account. So we can block those types of things. These threat actors nowadays are getting very, very good at what they do in convincing users to give up their username, password, and even their MFA codes. A lot of times they're setting up phony redirects. So this is a kind of a new type of attack vector for collecting credentials and MFA tokens, is that old man in the middle. We used to call these man in the middle attacks with Wi-Fi when you'd go to certain places. But basically, a user would click on a link that would redirect them to a site that looks just like a legitimate site that would pass through the information to the legitimate site. So let's say, again, logging into Office 365, they would set up a website that kind of looked like the login page for Microsoft 365. End user would type in username and password, put in their code. It would actually pass it through to the legitimate Microsoft site so that the user would then see the normal pages, get into their email, get into their apps, all that good stuff, just like normal. But the threat actor has now captured that data and now has that token. So they're now able to also log in as that user. So again, they're getting really tricky about getting into this stuff because they know the best way to get to your data and your company is through email. Because once they're in, if you get an email from a fellow employee, they're more trusted to then, again, open that email, click on a link, open an attachment. Plus, they now get access to everybody you know. So again, that's what they want. They want to spread as quickly as possible. So if they get into one person, that one person knows people they don't know. And then those people know people they don't know, so on and so forth. So that is their ultimate goal. That's why they spend so much time in attacking email, is it's their easy way in to get to know people and get into businesses and people's personal devices that they normally wouldn't have access to. So I know it's a little bit more money, but the protections are well worth it. If you have a breach and that data is compromised and it gets out there, imagine what your clients would say knowing that their data was leaked because of somebody opening an email or clicking an attachment, and it could have been easily caught. Also, cyber insurance, definitely requiring this. This is a question on every cyber insurance questionnaire I've gotten is, are you using MFA on your email? Make sure you answer that question 100%. This allows you to answer that without doubt that yes, 100%, all users, all accounts have MFA enabled. Because with cyber insurance, if you've got one person, two people that didn't set it up, it was never configured, and you have a breach and they find out after they do their audit, before they give you that check, they're not going to just send you that check. If they find out that somebody didn't, and that what you said on that application questionnaire was wrong, that's a reason for them to deny your claim. And that's what they're looking for. A lot of those audits are, yes, they're looking for the ways in. Now they're starting to use them as ways to not pay you because you answered a question incorrectly. So if you have questions about which subscription is right for your business, are there other ways of doing it? Yes. Can you mix and match licenses? Yes. But we need to have this feature turned on for all users. There's different ways of doing it. So if you'd like help with this, going through, doing an Office 365 audit, talking about what you can do, how you can get better secure, please reach out to us here at the office at 760-770-5200.